Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Apologies if the video quality is a little bit bad. I'm using my iPad to record this. And basically this first video I'm just going to be maybe talking a little bit about myself and why I have gone, or what has led me to the high carb, low fat vegan diet, and why I think more people should do this. And I'm also going to be preparing my dinner, so hopefully you'll get to see a little bit of me doing that and what I'm actually going to be eating for dinner. The main thing is potato, which is high in carbohydrate, in particular starch, which is really an excellent source of energy, yet something that is widely just sort of tossed away really in our modern diet. We tend to think more about our fats and our proteins in the Western diet as opposed to carbs. In fact, we seem to be so against carbs that we seem to think that eating too much sugars, eating too much carbs is what feeds cancers and what feeds insulin spikes, which in turn causes diabetes. Well, actually that couldn't be further from the truth. Now, although sugar does have an effect if you have a bad diet, to actually have a diet enriched in natural sugars, if possible, is more ideal. Like your carbohydrates and your starches and your fresh fruits and sugary vegetables and things like that, like runner beans and sugar snap beans are a good source of sugar. But yeah, it's all good to have most of your diet, at least 80%. Well, 80% really is the ideal carbohydrates, because if you've got a lot less fats, especially oils, in your diet, you haven't got anything for the sugar to bind to, which is essentially what causes your insulin spikes, because the sugar's binding to the fat, which is being pumped around your body. It stays in your body where normally it's just passed straight through the pancreas with no ill effects whatsoever. Maybe a slight increase in blood pressure, but that is healthy. That is the energy, which is why cyclists often use carbs as an energy source, because you've got a slight increase in blood pressure. The sugar is giving you energy. It's a good way for you to exercise for a prolonged period of time. Sugar water is also an excellent source of energy. But anyway, all this to say, it's fats. They're actually the main culprit, not carbohydrates, for insulin spikes, and also because sugar is being kept in your body by fats, the food source for cancers. Because sugar can be a food source for cancer, and it is, but the sugar is utilized by your body very effectively when you have not been abusing your body with fats. Because as I say, the sugar binds to the fats, stays in your body. There it can become a food source for the cancer cells, and also even worse than that, for the actual cancer cells to start forming in the first place. You've got insulin like growth factors found in dairy and eggs and some plant foods, in particular a lot of soy products contain the same insulin-like growth factors found in dairy, in fact higher quantities. To find out more about that, look into a guy called John McDougall. He talks a lot about that, and also the benefits of a high carb, or as he calls it, a high starch diet. Seriously recommend you reading his book, The Starch Solution, to find out more about that. Anyway, because I'm rabbiting on a little bit, I'm going to start peeling my spuds for food. So yeah, the main reason why I've sort of gone on to this high carb diet was through John McDougall, but actually my brother sort of turned me on to it, because I was actually a vegan a couple years back for something like a year, and I've been a vegetarian now for probably about 7 years, and I have no desire to change, and I had no desire to change really to eat meat, but I did go back to vegetarianism from veganism, and I think the main reason why was because I was getting too much fats in my diet. You know, I was still eating your vegan butters, and you know, if there was a cake, I was like, oh, if it's vegan, I'm going to eat this. Or, you know, going in the shop, looking at biscuits and things, oh, this is vegan, I'm going to eat this. You know, I was being really imbalanced with the ethical part of why I was a vegan over the health reasons, you know. And I think if you do that, if you don't strike a balance between, you know, health and ethnical reasons, you're gonna eat poorly as a vegan, and no matter how ethical you might be, you might end up just failing with the diet if you don't sort of find out how to change your diet and make it more healthy. And that's what happened with me. But now I'm back on track again. I've been back on track for a couple of weeks now on this high carb diet. I have a little bit of fat, the occasional bit of oils, but not really in cooking much. Mostly in like the rice milk I drink. There's about 1 gram of oil per 100 mils, but not a lot. Yeah, I don't really eat much oil, mostly carbs. I quite like beans and things like that, so I eat a little bit of protein. I don't really count my carbs or the percentages, but if I had to say, maybe 8% carbs, 10 to 15% protein, and probably only about 5 to 7% fat. So it's pretty close to an 80-10-10 diet, which is a very common sort of groundwork for most of these high carb, low fat diets. People like John McDougall say maybe slightly over that, but not by much, which is what I'm probably at right now. You know, it's a great way to keep yourself in shape, to keep you lean. But obviously, if you're getting too lean, like what Jerry Ryder says, eat a little bit more fat, just to cause a little bit of, he calls it anabolic in your body, which will help you gain a little bit of weight. Because fats are an anabolic, people don't realise that. It's why, you know, a high-fat diet is going to cause cancers as well, and all these problems, because you're basically doing a very, very similar thing to your body as to what steroids do. Obviously, we're talking a very high-fat diet, which a really unhealthy Western diet does have. You know, people that eat a lot of takeaways and McDonald's and just a lot of processed meats and a lot of red meats, and even a lot of white meat. Just people that eat a lot of meat and don't have much vegetables. Yeah, almost eating a paleo diet. That's going to cause anabolic in your body. Really not healthy. Wouldn't recommend it. So yeah, basically, health has been a big, big factor in getting me back vegan. And of course, I've got the ethical reasons there, but you know, they clearly weren't that strong, because I went back veggie for about a year, or maybe even longer than that. I do feel bad about that, but there's no point dwindling on the fruit. There's no point, you know, dwelling on the past. I have to look to the future now and say to myself, right, how can I keep this diet nice and healthy? How can I keep myself, you know, happy and raring to continue with this, and start exercising more, you know, with a really nice energy source, which is carbohydrates, to help and push me through it. You know, start doing a bit of jogging. Cycling I can't do much of at the moment because I haven't got a bike, but I will get a bike as soon as I can afford one. But I can do a bit of jogging, I can do a bit of cardio in the garden. I've got some weights, I can do some light weights, you know, things like that. Just need to be thinking to myself, right, I need to exercise now, I need to get myself, you know, in a good shape, eating nice and healthy, and I should be good to go. But yeah, I presume most of you guys watching this are vegan, so like, drop me a comment about how you got into veganism, what kind of diet you're doing. I presume if you're watching this video, maybe you're a high carb guy or lass, or you're thinking about going on that kind of diet. You know, let me know what diet you're doing, why you became vegan, all that kind of thing. We can have a little chat, that would be awesome. Anyway, I don't want to run this video on too long. I'm just going to get these spuds put away. Where is... Oh god, I did really want to steam those vegetables, but this big saucepan over here, my mum's made me a carrot and coriander soup, and so that's all been used up. So I'm going to have to boil these spuds. It doesn't really matter whether you boil them or bloody whatever, but I do quite like steamed mashed potatoes. I mean, they're really, really, really pleasant. They're super fucking delicious, basically. Steamed spuds. And they seem to mash better. Screw it. I haven't had all mashed in ages, so fuck it. Excuse my language. That's what I'm going to do. I shouldn't really be chopping this on the worktop, but I'm being careful. Right. So he should be alright. Oh, that's too far up. Alright. Sorry guys, cooker's being a son of a bitch. Fuck's sake, man! Is it because my hands are fucking wet? I don't know. There you go, motherfucker. Sorry, now it works. There's only a few more potatoes left, so I'm just going to do these on another saucepan. So yeah, I think my dinner is going to be, I'm not going to show you cooking it all because otherwise this video is going to run for like an hour. It's probably already been running for like 10 minutes. But yeah, basically, you can see how easy it is just to do a nice big high carb meal. I'm going to do this with some baked beans. You know, nice bit of protein, pretty much no fat. You know, a little whack of protein, nothing huge, but nice and healthy with the legumes. A lot of carbs, really super good for you. And I look quite skinny, but you know the dairy and all that shit, which, as I say, I regret doing, but here we go, this is the future, you know, we've got to look forward to that. I don't know whether you can see, I've got a slight belly, a slight bit of skinny fat, and I think that's all the fat I had for a couple of years. But I must have a fairly decent metabolism, I haven't sort of put on more weight. But I always did eat a lot of carbs, so I was halfway there with a high carb diet. I just needed to change a few things. And now, hopefully, going to give out a big shout out to Durian Rider, Vegan Gains, John McDougall, because their information on this diet is really what's inspired me to go out and do this myself, and inspired me to make this YouTube channel. Sorry if I have been waffling. Haven't really known what to say, so I've probably repeated myself a few times, but I think as I make more videos I'm going to get a better idea of what I'm doing with this channel and topics and things to talk about. And also, you know, you guys at home, because you know, you sending me comments, you liking the videos, subscribing, messaging me and things like that is also going to be a huge help to me making more videos. I can't do this without, you know, a fan base, or whatever you want to call it. I don't really like the word fan base because it sounds a bit egotistical, but you know what I mean, like you guys at home liking what I'm doing and helping out. So I think that's it for the first video. Spuds are on, and to the future, and to all the vegans out there, even to the vegetarians out there, fucking hey for doing your bit to save the planet and to help animals. But if you are a vegetarian, just do some research into dairy and eggs and stuff like that, and look up people like John McDougall and Durian Rider, and learn a bit about the vegan diet, in particular the high carb diet, and why you should be on the diet. Because you know, I'm not belittling the vegetarianism, because it's a great transition, but I think it should only be a transition. Like, the benefits of being vegan are just so incredible. In particular, high carb to your health and all that. Anyway, I'm waffling on, and I can see this video is about 17 minutes long, so until next time guys, see you soon, and stay vegan. Peace.